Wicknell Chivayo continues to escalate. I remember at one point, Wicknell Chivayo, in fact, it began of late recently when Wicknell Chivayo, gave a CCC member of parliament a car as well as also some monies, which was clearly broad light bribing of that CCC member in an effort to lure other CCC members to also join the fray of supporting the illegal constitutional amendment bill number 3 of 2026 so that others they get this bill done with. You can see the desperation within the Zwikanandas to get the bill done with. But I'm not on that. I'm on the rift between Temba Mliswa as well as Wicknell Chivayo. It began with Wicknell Chivayo saying what Temba Mliswa is now accusing him of doing. He actually did the same to him. Temba Mliswa told us that he has never received any gift from Wicknell Chivayo. If there is any, Wicknell Chivayo owes him. And this has prompted Wicknell Chivayo to release V11s to prove that indeed he gave Temba, even their screenshots also. So, in ZANU-PF, things appear. So these people, when they do things, they actually keep screenshots to prove indeed that they have done something for someone. So greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So Wicknell Chivayo has released invoices, payment receipts and passport records, which he says prove that he purchased a Ford Raptor for politician Temba Mliswa. Chivayo also addressed a separate 10,000 debt dating back to 2007, saying the money was a loan he had given Mliswa when he was dating Chivayo's sister. He claims that he later decided not to pursue repayment after concluding that Mliswa would not have been able to afford lobola, adding that the amount was being given disproportionate attention nearly 2 decades later. In a series of Instagram posts, Chivayo shared a Croco Motors pro forma invoice valued at, look at, these people are spending the state money. You will not believe this value that I see. 1,893,500 for several vehicles, including a Raptor, that is 30L. I don't know, those who understand the cars, they understand the language. Listed at 107,500 US dollars. He alleged that after he circulated the invoice, Mliswa collected the vehicle accompanied by his mother. To support this claim, Chivayo also posted a scanned copy of Mliswa's passport and challenged him to deny receiving the vehicles, insisting that the evidence presented was sufficient proof of the transaction. Of course, I've seen the Croco Motors pro forma invoice, and of course, I've seen also the message confirming the passport. But the passport is closed because Temba Mliswa passport that he indeed bought a Raptor for him, and the WhatsApp message written, TP new passport scanned 21 Tomboshaba Road corner, Honesta Close, Helensville, Borodale, Harare, Raptor. showing that rafter. In fact, let me go to the story because I want to just cover everything about Wicknell Chivayo as well as Temba Mliswa so that I don't have to go back at this story. Again, just bear with me. I saw something also. I just want to read, maybe there is additional information there regarding these gentlemen. So, yes, it was complete. It's almost the same actually story. Let me read it here. Maybe I will make it more information as covered by Zim Live. Say Chivayo hits back at Mliswa in Cape 3 Gifts Row. Reveals ex-MP accepted 107,000 Ford Raptor. And the story goes like controversial businessman Wicknell Chivayo has turned on former ZANU-PF official Temba Mliswa, accusing him of hypocrisy after Mliswa publicly condemned Chivayo's gift to MPs backing Constitution of Zimbabwe Amendment Bill number 3, which would extend President Emerson Mnangagwa's term in office by 2 years. In a lengthy combative Facebook post, Chivayo revealed that Temba had himself accepted a Ford Raptor worth 107,000 US dollars in cash, a disclosure that immediately undercut the former Mashonaland West Provincial Chairman's public posturing against financial inducement in the legislative process. I am actually surprised that you now appear to take a strong position against accepting my gratuity. Yet recently you graciously accepted the Ford Raptor. I paid cash 107,000, which I bought for you, which I bought you. Chivayo wrote saying the gift was made out of pity for your circumstances, being out of politics without a job or public office and with limited income. The broadside followed Mliswa's public criticism in which he argued that Chivayo's gifts for Cape 3 supporting MPs, including a 2026 Toyota Fortuner GD6 and 50,000 in cash to ZANU-PF Pindura South MP, that is Remigius Matangira, and the same package to CCC proportional representation MP Samantha Murayan Manicaland for breaking with her party's other MPs on the bill constituted bribery and threatened the integrity of the constitutional process. The introduction of such bribes into a legitimate parliamentary process is not only unwarranted but wholly unacceptable. Mliswa had said, warning that the gifts were a blemish on an otherwise exemplary political endeavor, and what the passage of the bill ought to reflect purity, free from the taint of accusations suggesting that financial inducement were employed. Mliswa had also acknowledged ZANU-PF's commanding numbers in Parliament, 194 MPs against an opposition CC bloc of 86, arguing this made Chivayo's intervention not only unnecessary but damaging, since a two-thirds majority to pass the requires only 187 votes. Chivayo, however, rejected the bribery characterization and the premise underlying it. He argued that rewarding MPs who were already publicly committed to Cape 3 before receiving any gift could not constitute a bribe, and demanded to know what rule he had broken. If I get impressed by an MP's unapologetic support for Cape 3 and President Iti Mnangagwa and personally choose to reward him or her, where is the problem? How does that become bribery as you allege if the MP is already openly in support of Constitutional Amendment Bill 3 and rewarded after he wrote? Chivayo also pushed back against suggestion that his donations were politically motivated or aimed at earning influence insisting he was nothing more than an ordinary card-carrying ZANU-PF member with no political ambitions. I am not the architect behind Camp 3. I am not a politician and I have absolutely no aspirations of becoming one. He said, this theory that I am somehow seeking recognition exists entirely in your imagination and nowhere else. The businessman dismissed Mliswa's lecturing as the posturing of a politically defeated man desperate to remain relevant. He catalogued that what he described as Mliswa's business failures, alleging that Salt Lake's tobacco had become insolvent under his stewardship, that he had been publicly accused of seizing Noshio Motors and Benba from a businessman named Paul Westwood, and that a farm received through the land reform program with more than 4,000 pedigree cattle had declined dramatically and was now left with less than 25 goats. You were rejected by your own constituencies in Urungwe and Norton. Chivayo wrote, you are nothing more than a pale image of your former self. Chivayo, who made his millions from state contracts, also invoked the names of figures who had declined his offers in the past, including Zayoja Unoguti, Zimbabwe Football Association President Ngobile Makwizi, and Emmanuel Makandiwa, to argue that his philanthropy is genuine, voluntary, and that no recipient is compelled to accept anything. Philanthropy is voluntary, and we all know Zimbabwe has an average of 16 million plus people. Those who want to receive it in the love of God. Those who don't want it, decline. And I move on to the next. He wrote, the exchange intensified scrutiny of Chivayo's role in CAP 3's campaign as a sensitive moment. The bill is already facing multiple constitutional charges in the court, including proceedings before the Constitutional Court, and critics argue that the appearance of financial inducement in the parliamentary process risk delegitimizing the amendment, even if it passes. You know, today I'll be dealing with these stories of public bribery. That is all we are witnessing it happening. Now they are no longer hiding. They do it publicly in front of you, the people of Zimbabwe, to see that how your taxes are actually used under Emerson Tambuzo Mnangagwa. It's embarrassing the extent these guys are actually operating. They don't care. No one actually will go after them. No one will hold them to account. And you know, this thing is appearing like a culture in Zimbabwe. You know, in other countries, gifting someone a car like that and a cash amounting to 50,000, whilst ordinary Zimbabweans are not allowed to withdraw more than 1,000 US dollars per day. You can tell that law in Zimbabwe is meant for ordinary citizens, not the Zwikanandas. Zwikanandas have a separate law which we don't know, which exists in fact, there is nothing that bounds them. All they have to do is to continue bootlicking Emerson Tambuzo Mnangagwa and showering him with praises whilst breaking the laws. I mean, how many cars has Wicknell Chivayo actually bought and gave to people? Did he follow due process? Did he follow the laws of the country? Were those cars taxed? These are very critical and fundamental questions. What is his source of income? Does he have non-business except government contracts? How much is he making out of those government contracts to be dishing out this money? Something somewhere, somehow is wrong. with the ways Uganda's dishes money. And on the next live broadcast, I'll be dealing also with another latest issue. Let me love and leave you. And before I leave you, let me encourage you to press the subscribe button so that when I come through, you don't get to miss my live broadcast. And also let me encourage you to support this channel financially by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Okancubo Mhlabane is signing off. Let me love and leave you. You know, it's very cold here.